Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today, coming to our National Adoption Day celebration. My name is Courtney Penhollow. I am a permanency worker with the Division of Family Services up in Newcastle County. I'm also co-chair of the Interagency Committee on Adoption, who is hosting this event today. This is my co-chair, Meredith Hypes. She is also a permanency worker for the division up in Newcastle County. Again, we are just so excited to be here today in person. For those of us who do this work daily, adoptions are our favorite time, and National Adoption Day is just one of those ways that we get to celebrate all of the families who have adopted in the past, specifically this past year of 2022. And then we are delighted today that we get to share 3 finalizations with you all. 3 great families who have been wonderful to work with and have delighted us in sharing in their special day today. So before we get to those finalizations, we do have some guest speakers and some videos we would like to share with you all. So to start that off, we have a video prepared for us by our governor, John Carney. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Governor John Carney. November is National Adoption Month, and I'm glad to be able to join you as we celebrate families that have grown through adoption. A home is something many of us take for granted, but is so much more than just 4 walls. A home can represent a loving family, a safe place, and a welcoming environment for children and youth. That's why adoption can be such a special experience for children and families. I'd like to give a special shout out to our Delaware youth experiencing foster care and to those with permanent families. We want to do everything we can to support you on this journey, and your voices and experiences matter. I hope you will use them to encourage others to open their homes and hearts to consider adoption in Delaware. And so as we recognize National Adoption Month, I'd like to wish you all the best.
Good morning, everyone. Very, very happy to see so many people in attendance this year. Obviously, this morning we've been talking about how we haven't been able to do this in person since 2019, so I'm just overwhelmed with the turnout this morning. So thank you all for taking time out of your day to share this space with us and for letting us share the space with you. My name is Trenny Parker. I'm the director of the Division of Family Services, and I'm very happy to be a part of today's celebration. I would like to introduce all of you to someone who is a true champion in our state of adoption and foster care, our Lieutenant Governor, Bethany Hall-Long.
Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you, Trini. Good morning. I am delighted to be here. I just realized the mic's for that, so I can scream. I am a nurse and a professor. And I have to tell you, when I have a crowd who gathers together, this is the highlight of my year. And at Thanksgiving season, to Rini and her team, I just want to thank you on behalf of the state of Delaware and to the incredible, loving, caring families that have come here and traveled. Are you excited today or what? Are you excited? Let's hear it. It's such an incredible, beautiful day when we can come together and openly express our strength and our love for one another and our communities. And we know there is nothing more important than how we treat our aged and our youth. And to those of you who have been incredible foster families, can I see a wave of hands? Those of you who've been involved in the foster family process, thank you, thank you, thank you. And those who are here to adopt, I am delighted to be here, and it takes special teams. And, to Courtney and Meredith, the interagency. And if you look in your program, I'm not going to read all the agencies and names, but a big thank you to everyone listed. It really takes a village. As you know, as a mother myself, it takes a village raising our children, and thank you each. And to our incredible judges, Kerr and McGriff, who've here, who take their time, who work through the special processes with you. Again, I want to say thank you. Today is the continuance of a celebration that you all put in place, and the governor you just heard from and I are delighted. I'm not going to read word for word this long proclamation because you're here to sign the paperwork and to make these adoptions official today. But I do want to just say to you how important, and on behalf of the state of Delaware, the governor and I have prepared this tribute that walks us through the whereases of why in Delaware it's so important. We know that in Delaware we have around, I think the number I was just shared with, around 565 plus or minus at any point in time children in our foster system and children waiting to be adopted. And for the children who are here today who have been in the foster system, who are being adopted, we know that you're going to take the greatest care. And so the proclamation goes on to celebrate each and every one of you, to recognize the importance, the coordination this has with the national adoption process. And it's then signed by, whereas Governor John Carney, Lieutenant Governor Hall Long, that's me, declared this adoption month, Small Steps, Open Doors. So think about that, small steps, open doors. So it's then signed by Governor John C. Carney and myself, Bethany Hall Long. And I'm going to present this now to you, Madam Director, and we'll do this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, and the best. Our doors are always open. And should you continue to have any ideas, opportunities, share those with my office, because we truly want Delaware to be at the top. And I know with this incredible team at DFS and the interagency, we have some of the best in America. So let's get down to signing the papers today. I'm so excited. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lieutenant Governor. Appreciate your advocacy for the children and families in our state. Thank you so much. So again, I'm not going to take much time. I'm just going to pass this on to the next person. I'd like to introduce everyone to the Adoption Program Manager for the Division of Family Services, Mara Dillon.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I think it was Courtney that said, can you guys hear me? Do I need the microphone? Okay, I kind of stand aside. I think it was Courtney that said how happy we are all to be back in person this year. The last couple of years we've been virtual, and some of you may have been part of that, but it is just so wonderful to see everybody here. And what a turnout, what a turnout. So thank you. I just want to start off by talking about some of the good work that has happened this year. We have done 40 adoptions so far, and there are more to come. And I think you guys might have saw when you were coming in, there were some videos, and these are the videos that you were seeing are kids that we are still working with. And we have always done photos in the past, but this year we decided that we were going to start filming our kids and talking to them and hearing from them in their own voice. And that has been really remarkable for us, and so we were really glad we were able to share them. And I want to just make sure that I give credit to Courtney and Meredith for that they coordinated that, they pulled all that together, and also to our kids, because how brave are our kids to appear on video to talk to all of us, right? So I want to start with that, and I also want to thank all of the special guests that are here today. Lieutenant Governor, who I might have missed, Lieutenant Governor, our judges, our judges that we could not do this work. We have 2 judges from family court with us here today to finalize adoptions. All of our families, our foster families, our adoptive families, our kids, because again, how brave are our kids, how resilient. And all of our stakeholders that are here, the Office of the Child Advocate is here, lawyers that work with our kids and walk side by side. Our community partners are here that do that work with our kids every day, right? They do that work every day. They walk with our kids side by side, prepare them, help them understand where they came from, where they're going. And also our DFS case managers, and we've got a few here today because we know we're in really challenging times right now, right? And all of you show up every day for our kids. And so I just want to thank you all for that. And we've got you've already seen some of our special guests. We have some videos coming up. We've got, we're going to hear from Miss Delaware, Grace Otley, who her platform is adoption. We have so many wonderful advocates for adoption in this community. So I think we have a video from our cabinet secretary, Josette Manning, right now, and then we'll start moving into some of those adoptions that you're all here for. So thank you. Before I say, I want to thank all of the families that are adopting today, because you are sharing this with all of us, and that is so powerful and so important, and we appreciate you so much. So thank you.
Hello, and welcome to our National Adoption Day celebration. It is wonderful to have everybody gathered in person again for the first time in a couple of years, so welcome. I'm looking forward to celebrating with you all the finalization of 3 adoptions today. And I wanted to share some gratitude for both the families and the children who are becoming a family today. It is very exciting to be a part of that. You are all giving each other a gift of unconditional love. And what that means to another human being is something that really can't be described with words. But for our young folks who are joining us today, it means that no matter what you say or do or what happens to you in your life, you are always going to have someone who loves you. That is what unconditional love is all about. And as the parent of teenagers, I know there are times when people get angry with each other and get in trouble or don't get along. But at the end of the day, your family will love you for the rest of your life and be there for you. And that is one of the great joys of my job, is getting to be a part of that and share in that with you. It gives us all hope for our future and is one of those beautiful moments that I am honored to be a part of today. So congratulations to all of you for finding your forever families and in the sharing in the unconditional love that you will have for the rest of your lives. Congratulations.
Next, I'm scanning the crowd. I'd like to invite Teenie Graff to the stage. Teenie is a foster parent and an adoptive parent, and she's a strong advocate for adoption in Delaware, so she's going to talk to us for a few minutes. Thanks. Hi, Teenie.
Hello.
Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everybody. My name's Teenie Graff, and I am extremely fortunate to have the opportunity to adopt my 2 sons today, Champ and Frankie. Ever since I was a kid, for whatever reason, I had this need to adopt a 10-year-old. I don't know why. I didn't know anyone that was adopted. I did not know anyone in foster care, but I've always said since I was a kid that I wanted to adopt a 10-year-old. Because 10-year-olds don't get adopted. You know, as far as I knew, babies got adopted, and the older kids did not. And it was just something that I've always wanted to do, and I finally had the chance to do that. Fortunately, I married an amazing man, my husband, Tim, who's been very supportive of most of my endeavors. He typically just shakes his head and is like, what are we doing now? And even though I said that I wanted to do this from the get-go, I don't know that he truly believed me, but here we are. So I'm blessed with 3 biological sons, Braden, Jackson, and Miles, who are down here. And they couldn't have been more supportive of this situation. We would not have made the decision to foster if they were not on board with our situation. So we met as a family, we talked about it, we explained what it entailed, and they were like, absolutely, let's do this. So here we are. So this process started for us back in May of 2020. I had just gotten a new job that allowed me to be able to have more time in my schedule and more support and dedication to the process. So I met with a friend and who had gone through Children and Families First and said that he had a great experience. So we called, and I got to speak with Mike, who is here somewhere. And one thing I appreciate about Mike is that he made it very clear that this was not easy. And he didn't make this out to be, something that is going to be this very easy walk through the park and we should all do it. He was very honest and upfront about what it was really going to be like. And I think that's honesty is what really made us willing to do it, because we knew what was ahead. So on Wednesday, January 27th of 2021 of last year, we got a call that there was a child who needed a home. and that was Champ. And he was a perfect fit for our family, and we were like, perfect. So the next day, literally, they dropped him off, and that's where it all started. And we had absolutely no true idea what it all entailed, but we were willing to do so. So at that time, Champ and his brother Frankie had not seen each other in many years, and it was one of our goals from the get-go to get them reunited. It took us a year and a half, but we did. And this past summer, I think in July, we were able to meet up and we were able to reunite them after maybe about 6 years. Sorry, this is going to be emotional. Bear with me. So things went really well there. We got to know Frankie very, very well, and I am so proud to say that we are also adopting Frankie today. So, you can't do this without a village. This is not an easy process. There's a lot of ups and downs. There's a lot of adjustment. And there are so many people that were involved in this process that made it possible. You know, as you guys know, when children are separated from their families, they experience trauma, and trauma is shown in so many different ways, particularly through behavior. And we've learned this, you know, building trust and love and connection is hard. It's a really hard process. And you have to have a lot of patience. You've got to have a lot of understanding, a lot of knowledge, a thick skin, and more love than you've ever known that you can give is really what it is. It's just about love. And, you know, we've been fortunate enough to have these 2 children that we were able to welcome in and to give as much love as we possibly can. They communicate through their actions, you know, like when they're upset, they act out. When they're angry, they act out. And when they're happy, they act out. When they're sad, they act out. And we have to figure that out, and we've got to figure out what's going on. And many times they don't know what they're feeling, and they don't know what's going on and why they're acting the way they act. And it's our job as parents to understand that, and it's our job as parents to be able to acknowledge what's going on and have the patience and understanding to do that. But none of that would have been possible without the support that we've received. And, you know, Children and Families First and A Better Chance for Our Children are the 2 that we've worked with the most. And we've been just so fortunate. So Children and Families First, when we walked in, number one, they make sure that you're in it for the right reasons. And they make sure that you're really ready for the journey that you're about to embark on, because it's not easy. I'll probably say that 35 times. It's not easy. But it's amazing. It's an amazing journey, and it's worth it. We had to do, and if anybody in here, I mean, you guys who did it as well, we had to do about 65 hours of training. And I can't say that it was exciting. It was not. It was tough. And you think like, oh, I'm learning all this knowledge, which is awesome. And you really, without the 65 hours of grueling training that we went through, it still isn't enough to truly understand how it really impacts what we're doing. And even with the training, without the training, I don't think we would be here right now. We really wouldn't. It's a lot. It was exhausting. We had it online. We had it in person. We had meetings. And thank goodness that we did, because it relatively prepared us for what was to come. Sorry, bear with me. Training only gets you so far. When things go awry and your emotions start to kick in, it is really difficult to react in a trauma-informed way, right? You know, there's not enough training in the world that will truly prepare you for this situation. And that's why I'm so thankful that we were part of, and that we have been part of, and will continue to be part of, Children and Families First's Village. They welcomed us into their family, and I'm so thankful. Our first step was we met Mike and we met Teresa, and they kind of took care of getting us, preparing us to be resource parents. It was a long, I think for us it was about 8 months of trainings and them coming to our house and interviews and everything else that we had to do to make sure that our home was what's best for a child and that we were prepared. So thank you. Thank you for bringing us into this world, because without you, we wouldn't be here. Once Champ joined our family, tied us up with, hooked us up with a social worker, and that would be Lisa Hutchison. And I don't have the words to express how I feel about Lisa. She's been with us through the worst of the times. She's been with us through our best times, and she's been my person through all of this. She herself has raised and adopted foster children, so she truly gets it. And unless you're living the world that we're living, no offense, but you truly don't understand what it's like, right? So to have that person to be able to call and say, this just happened, and not have to explain anything about it, just call, and her say, I understand, like, I get it, and she did, she understood, right? So I've cried with her so many times. We've celebrated the small victories that only foster parents will understand. And again, I was able to do that without any explanation. And for that, I truly have no words. Like, I don't know, I could talk forever. This is, oh. So she's done a really good job of reminding me that some of the behaviors that we see aren't always personal, that there's more to it. She helps me take my emotions out and think about it, but she also allows me to be upset and allows me to be angry and frustrated, and just kind of got me through and will continue to get us through this entire process and all of the ups and downs. So thank you. We were also offered a program through Children and Families First called Family Functional Therapy. And, that was more about our family. And they come into your home and talk to the whole family. Because when a child joins your home, or children, in my case, join your home, it's a huge family adjustment. It's not just about us parents, and it's not just about the kids that we're adopting. It is about our entire family and our biological children. So through this whole process, while they were completely on board, of course, they didn't really know what to expect either. So we had Laura Stork, who I don't think is here yet, which makes me very sad, but she will be here, who would come to our home once a week, and she would meet with us. Sometimes she met with just my husband and I. Sometimes she met with just Champ. Sometimes it was just my kid, the biological kids. And she just helped. She helped. When we had situations we didn't know how to handle, she walked us through it. When things were awesome, she celebrated with us. When things were really, really hard, she walked us through it, and she kept us going. And without Laura, I truly, truly don't think we would be here today. Absolutely not. It is a free service, so if any of you guys are in this situation, it was one of the best things we've ever done. She was able to talk to their biological kids and explain trauma-informed care in a way that they could understand it. She was able to meet with, Champ and another child and one of my other kids if they were struggling or having conflict. She was able to meet with us, or we would do family building activities together, which I can't say the kids always loved, but it helped. It really did make a difference. And I'm just so fortunate that we were able to have this service, because it really did make a very, very large difference. We were also looking for counseling for Champ, and in the beginning, he really wasn't ready, but we tried, and Dr. Balin was recommended to us through Laura and through Lisa, and we waited. We were on a wait list, and it was worth it, and I'm so thankful that we did. And the first time we sat down with him, it was on Zoom because it was the pandemic. And he's an older gentleman, and probably one of the smartest people I've ever met in my entire life. And we sat down, and after he met with Champ for about 10 minutes, he's like, there's no way I'm going to be able to connect with him through Zoom. And Tim and I were like, we just waited months to get this appointment, and we're not going to be able to do it. It's not going to work. And we didn't know what to do. And he was like, but I think I can help you help Champ. And for every single week, we met with Dr. Balin, Tim and I, and we would just talk to him about what was going on. This is the transition issues that we're having. This is where I think Champ might be struggling. What do we do? How do we help him? Because we don't know. Yes, we had 65 hours of training plus, right? And we learned so much, but it prepares you, but not to the extent of when they're in your home and things could go awry, and it's tough. And Dr. Balin walked us through step by step. And it was incredible. It was incredible. And to this day, we still talk to Dr. Balin. And we don't see him as often because things are going a lot better. We've been very much more adjusted. Champ's doing wonderfully. And definitely helped with Frankie coming into the picture. And, but Dr. Balin is still part of our village. And I literally know that I can reach out to him at any time and email him, and he will be there. So I wish he could be here today, but he's out of town. He was very, very large part of our process here. Once Champ was ready for counseling, Dr. Balin recommended Amy Morgan from A Better Chance for Our Children, and we still see her today, and I think we will for quite a long time. She's been awesome. Champ's not one for talking about his feelings, which is okay, but she's found ways to work with him and to help us and to help him, and she's been extremely wonderful. Over the summer, we visited with her often. It's slowed down a little bit now that we have school. We live in Middletown. She's in North Wilmington, but we still do it. And, oh, you're here. And, it's been awesome. And not only does Amy work with us on the regular basis, but she also works with Dr. Balin. So for a while, Tim and I would talk to Dr. Balin, Amy would work with Champ, and then we would all meet and talk about it all to make sure that we were all together. And it was instrumental because we got both sides of the story, and we've got everything going on and lots of different thought processes, and we all worked together to do what was best for these kids, and that was the whole goal. So Amy, thank you. Obviously, thank you. I was also fortunate to be part of a training called Connect. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. We did a pilot of it, and it was specific for parents of teenagers. So rather than, a lot of the training we did was based on younger kids, and the teenage world's very different. These kids are established. They've already, their trauma is more, right? And they can think for themselves, and they have their opinions, and they should, and it's great. And Connect really helped us learn what their behaviors were telling us, and how to kind of connect with them a little better than we did, than we were. And I was so fortunate that they invited me to be a facilitator for Connect. So I'm really looking forward to that, because that way the next Connect group we have, it'll be a professional and a parent, so we can kind of put our heads together to be able to hopefully help other people who are adopting or fostering teenage kids, because it is a very different world, very, very different world. Judge Kerr, thank you for everything. Judge Kerr has been with his family long before we entered it. I think you met Frankie when he was 12 or so, right? And he's been through this she's been through all of the ups and downs of their journey. And then she just welcomed us into this family so well, and so she was so loving and so kind, and she just made everything okay when we went to all these court hearings terrified. So I said the only way that we would adopt these boys today is if Judge Kerr could be here, and she's taking her Saturday to be here to do this. So thank you so much for being here. Courtney, where are you? Courtney is our DFS worker, and she's amazing. If you guys have the opportunity, if you are ever in this situation and she ends up your DFS worker, you are very, very lucky. She just took care of everything. Anytime I had a question, anytime I had a problem, I could just call her or text her, and she got us the answer. She's been so supportive. She's the reason I'm speaking to you today. She's the reason we're here today, a big part of it, right? That's a big, big, big part of it. So thank you, Courtney, for everything. Last but not least, I want to thank Champ and Frankie's biological mom. She unfortunately can't be here today, but we've been in contact for many, many months. We're able to reunite Champ with his mom in August for the first time in about 10 years. Even though she's unable to be here today, she has been nothing but supportive about this adoption, and I'm very sad that she couldn't be here, because I think that would kind of complete this process. Ultimately, it's up to both Champ and Frankie if they want her in their life, and that's their choice. But I know, and we know, that the door is open if they so want that, and I feel that that is so incredibly important. And what they do with that open door is up to them, and that's completely their choice, and I respect whatever decision they make, but I am very happy that we have an open door for them to be able to make that decision if they want to. And I'm so thankful that she has been so incredibly supportive of this situation and that we are in contact. Why am I telling you all of this? Because this is really, really hard. This is really hard, right? And it's probably one of the hardest things that our family has ever done. But it's also the best thing I think that we could have ever done, because our family is complete. We finally are complete. We've been offered so much support from so many organizations. You just have to be willing to accept all of that support. There is such a village that is created for our situations, and utilize it, right? We can't do this by ourselves. There is too much. You can't parent children that you had biologically by yourself, and when you bring kids from a completely different world into your home, you sure as heck can't do that by yourself. And it's this village that kept us going, and there are so many more people that I could probably name. I left out my family and friends. I'm so sorry, I skipped a paragraph. Our family and friends have been amazing. They've welcomed these two kids into our home and into their lives as if they've been there from the very beginning. I have a friend who took Champ to his first Phillies game. My mom took Frankie down to the beach with her for a week. You know, we've got so many people that do so much for our kids and treat them as completely the same, like absolutely the same as the other three kids. And it's wonderful. You know, I don't have 3 kids anymore, I have 5. And everybody in our world and in our family and friend group feels exactly the same way. We don't have 3 kids anymore, we have 5. And they treat them the exact same way, and that's all that I can ask. You guys as moms and dads, there's nothing like when other people love your kids and take care of your kids. So for them to open their hearts to these 2 kids that I said, hey, we're gonna bring them on and they're gonna come live with us, you know, and that is, to have that support from them is, I don't know. I don't have the words for that. So again, I'm looking forward to the day that these boys truly understand the village that's around them. A lot of it's behind the scenes and they may not see it, right? And a lot of it is just talking with Tim and I, or just being a support for us so that we can help them. And I don't know if they realize how many people have truly come together to make this possible. And one day, I hope they look back and think, wow, all of these people were helping just us. They were helping us. And they wanted this to work, and that's why we're here. They are so loved, and they have such bright futures ahead of them. They have so much support, and they have so much love, and now they have a family. This may be a foreign concept for them, but over time, I truly hope they can realize how loved you guys truly are. What unconditional love means, and that you truly do deserve a family. Both of you, you deserve a family. And I love you guys more than I could ever explain. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for choosing us to be your family. Thank you.
I'm going to have a hard time talking now. Thank you, Teeny. Thank you so much. And I just saw your shirt from behind, and I love it so much. Thank you. There's really not much more that I can say than what Teeny just said. And I want to reiterate that this is our community right here, right? This is our community. And I want to make sure that everybody knows that there's information over here on the table, that everything that Teeny talked about is available to all of us. And just like Teeny said, you can work with a better chance for our children, and you can work with Children's Choice, and you can work with Children and Families First. You can work with all the agencies, and it's free, statewide, doesn't matter where you live. So please get involved with this community. It's so important. Just everything that Teeny said, and thank you, because it's hard. This is hard, but also some of the most rewarding thing you'll ever do. So, and here we have some more information up here. That's my direct phone number. And I know that Trenny introduced me, but I'm not sure that I introduced myself, so I apologize. My name is Maura Dillon. I work for the Division of Family Services. I'm the Adoption Program Manager, and that's my direct phone number, and then we have information over there too. So thank you, Teeny, so much for sharing your story and your family. And next I want to introduce Grace Otley and Miss Delaware, and she's going to talk to us a little bit this morning too, share some remarks.
Hello, everyone. I guess I don't think this works actually. So I'm really excited to be here. I actually got the honor to come here when I was 14 or so. I was the Miss Delaware's Outstanding Teen, and I was invited because I was adopted. So I was here a long time ago, and it's an honor to be back now as Miss Delaware. And if you don't know anything about this organization, we're all encouraged to take a social cause of our choosing and support it throughout the year. And being an adoptee, I chose adoption awareness as mine. So my social impact initiative is called Adopt a New Mindset, Adoption Advancement and Advocacy. And my platform is about raising awareness about adoption, but more so in a transparent way. So it's about telling my story and my experiences, the good, bad, and the ugly. Because as much as I do advocate for everyone to choose adoption, my social impact is more about encouraging healthy and educated adoptions, because we're seeing on social media, if you pay attention to adoptees speaking about their experiences, I mean, you can hear from great adoptions all the way to traumatic ones. And in order to encourage more families to adopt, we have to eliminate the adoptions that turn out to have traumatic experiences. So one thing, raising a child is very difficult, but raising a child where there's a triad involved is even more complex, right? You have a triad in adoption with birth mothers, adoptive parents, and adoptees. So it's really important that you learn about the complications that can come with adoption so that you're accurately prepared, right? And so during my year, I'm sharing my experiences as an adoptee, and most importantly, I am in a transracial adoption, so those are the experiences that I can talk about. I was adopted from Vietnam when I was 1-year-old and brought here, and I was brought into a predominantly white community, so something that I experienced greatly growing up was a lot of bullying, and it was bullying based on my differences for how I looked. And so right now, I take this year to speak with other transracial adoptees so that we can come up with these things that we can tell future adoptive parents or people maybe not even considering yet about our experiences, so they can learn how to best be prepared for a transracial adoption. And one of the things that I've taken away from talking with others that I think is really important is that some adoptive parents go into the process saying they don't see color. But it's really important that you don't have this mindset, because unfortunately we live in a world that does see color, and your child will experience that growing up. So one of the things that we say is to be understanding and do your research about the things that they'll experience, whatever background they come from, because when they experience things in school like bullying for their differences from the culture they come from, it's really important that you're the first one to speak to them, to tell them that they're beautiful no matter what they come from, and that they're strong, so that when others try to take them down and break them down, that you've already built them up and they have that established self-esteem. So with that said, while my platform is, of course, educating those outside of this adoption triad, it's definitely about also educating those within, birth mothers, adoptive parents, and adoptees, so that we can encourage the families who are currently in adoptions and prospective adoptions to have healthy adoptions, so that we can see more families in the future adopting and continuing that healthy cycle. Thank you guys so much, and I'm really excited to be here. It's an honor to see adoptions taking place. I loved it when I was 14, and I love it even more when I'm here today. So thank you for including me.
Thanks, Grace. And everything Grace says, too, is so important. We need to honor each other's differences, right? So, and she talked about being excited to see some adoptions. So let's start finalizing some adoptions. First, I want to invite to the stage Judge James McGiffin and the Catan family. Caton. I knew I apologize. The Caton family. Come on up to the stage.
I'm gonna get.
Yes, Meg, you're on the hook as well. This is not going to take terribly long. I've reviewed all the documents, so I'm pretty sure we're going to grant this adoption. Not entirely sure, but pretty sure. I don't want to prejudge anything. My name is McGiffin. I'm a family court judge here in Kent County. I'm actually covering for my colleague Joelle Hitch, who was unable to be here today. So this is not a family that I've been with from the beginning, but I have read the documents that are filed. So the first thing I'm going to do is swear in some folks. So let me swear in the prospective adoptive parents. Would you each state your name, please?
Anna Caton.
James Caton.
And do you folks affirm that the testimony you will give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then you at the end, would you state your name? Okay, and do you affirm that testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth? I do. Okay, great. So the Catons seek to adopt Sanaya, right? And this would be Sanaya here, this beautiful child here, right? Okay, how are you? You good? You okay? She has teeth. That is important, right? Okay. I really appreciate that you've come dressed appropriately for a court proceeding. Sometimes people come to court and they don't dress appropriately, particularly when it's on Zoom. So when somebody dresses appropriately, I want to acknowledge that. So Sanaya, thank you so much for dressing appropriately. So when I read let me get to the report first. So the law requires that we get a report from an agency that's qualified to do a report. And so that's why Meg Gary is standing up here. So it was your agency that did this. Yay is exactly right. It was a great report. Your agency did this very, very comprehensive report on this situation. Is that right? That is. And you reviewed it and you signed it yourself. Is that right? And was it all true and correct? It was. Okay. And do you have any hesitation in recommending the adoption of this child by these parents? Okay. So let me just make sure that the Catons know this is your last chance, right? Now you have with you here two children that you have already, the two really big guys here. So these are adults. You can tell just by looking at them. So you've been through this before, the whole spectrum, right?
Yes.
And you want to do this again?
Yes.
I mean, she is 2 now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's another. How old are you? This is at least another 34 years. You're sure this is what you want to do?
Yes.
You are, okay. Okay, so I'm going to accept the report, and I'm going to accept that the Catons still want to do this. And I just want to say, at the family court, we see a lot of ugliness. It's probably 75 or 80% of our job dealing with ugliness. And we do our best to try and bring peace and order and love to the ugliness, but that's a tough job. But when we get to do an adoption, it is nothing but love. And what that means to me as a member of our community is it makes our community a better place. Every time there's an expression of love, particularly a public expression of love, it makes the community a better place. And there is maybe no more profound expression of love than for these folks to welcome this child into their home, knowing that it's going to be a wild ride. And knowing that, and notwithstanding all the issues that may come up in this world that doesn't seem to get better all the time, seems to go the other way, they have established that they are going to love this child, and that makes this world so much better place. And I am just humbled by that expression myself and honored to be a part of it. So I am happy, having reviewed all the documents, having established that these are married people who live in Delaware and that they're eligible to adopt a child, and having established that they know exactly what they're getting into, I am happy to sign the final order here. And, well, in fact, I did already sign it because I wanted to give them certified copies. So you have certified copies of your order, and plus you have this lovely certificate suitable for framing, right? Which bears the clerk of the court signature, not mine, far more important signature than mine. So I want to congratulate you both. Thank you. And thank you for what you've done. All right, and the adoption is hereby granted.
And I'm going to invite Judge Kerr up to the stage, as well as the price family.
All right, where's Sarah and James and the whole family? All right. Oh my gosh, this. I didn't realize how tall this was, so. But I told Aliana that good things come in small packages, so. All right, so so like Judge McGiffin, I'm filling in for this particular adoption. This is actually Judge Michael Arrington's case, and Judge Arrington has been working with involved with the Price family for quite some time. He was very disappointed he couldn't be here today, so I'm going to do my best to be a substitute for him, but I know I've got big shoes to fill, so. So why don't, we've got Ms. Gary back up here, and Sarah and James, if you all want to raise your hands. You all swear to tell the truth and all? All right. All right, and so Sarah and James, you're not backing out? No. You're still ready to do this?
Yes.
All right, and you're ready until you understand it's a lifetime commitment. And having met Aliana, I can see why you want to do this and why she's so special. And Ms. Gary, I read your report. It was very thorough, and you swear that everything contained in that report was accurate? And what is your position regarding this adoption?
I 100% support it.
Okay, and who else do we have here with you?
Ashley and Colin.
Okay, and they're your other children?
Yes.
And how about the two of you? I never grant an adoption unless I get the consent of the siblings. Are you in agreement? Yes. All right. So that being said, I assumed that this was going to happen, and I went ahead and took the liberty of signing your certificate. So you've got your official signed certificate here. And is there anything that you want to say? Don't be shy.
She is a gift, and we're so thankful for her.
All right. Well, thank you for letting us spend this day with you and share this day with you. I know how special it is, and it's special to everybody in this room, and we're very thankful that you shared this day with us.
Thank you.
Thank you. And here's your special certificate with the gold seal. All right. Or maybe her village, I don't know.
Right?
Elisa wrote the report, right? Yeah. Where's Tim? Here he comes. All right. Okay, I am going to try to keep it together as best I can. As Teeny said, I've known Frankie almost as long as I've been a judge, and I've been a judge for 7 years. And because I've known Frankie for 6 years, that means I've heard about Champ nonstop for 6 years. Because, as Teeny indicated, their goal was to bring Champ and Frankie together. My goal for 6 years has been to bring Frank and Champ together. And I don't want to get too much into the details. I'm really thankful that Teeny shared a lot of the story and mentioned, really just how hard it is. And I think, part of the reason Frankie and Champ weren't together, is just that sometimes guardians don't get that training, those 65 hours, all that, that you need, the tools you need to be able to take on children who have been through trauma. And I want to thank Frankie for his persistence. And I don't know if Champ even realizes just the first thing that Frankie wanted when he came into foster care was to see his brother, was to be able to see his brother. And it's been difficult, it's been an upward climb. And I see a lot of adults who want to see their children, want to visit their children, and for whatever reason, whatever they've been through, the children may not want to see them. And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to feel like that rejection, and it's easy to give up. And Frankie never, ever, ever gave up on Champ. Ever. And I can see why, now that I've finally met Champ. So this family is really, really special to me. I've been through so many years, so many hearings with Frankie, and I never really imagined this ending, and that is really because, the Graff family kind of came into their lives, or came into our lives, like angels sent from heaven. I can't tell you, the last hearing I had with Frank, I looked up, and these hearings have been on Zoom lately, and I saw Teeny's face on that Zoom screen and saw her there with Frankie. This isn't with Champ, this is with Frankie. And I couldn't believe it. And then when I had heard, that as soon as the two boys, I'm gonna call you boys, even though you're 18, Frankie, met, that it was like, the 6 years hadn't passed, and they've been inseparable since. And I can't tell you how important that was, and what really a lot of the last 6 years were about. And the other thing that Teeny mentioned that is really important is that she said she wouldn't have done it without the agreement of the whole family. So besides, Tim, who's been incredibly wonderful and patient and kind, I want to thank Braden, Jackson, and Miles so much. So much. And I know you might be embarrassed standing up here, but I mean, the fact that you welcomed these boys into your home, that you were unselfish, sharing your parents, sharing your family, sharing your love, opening your home, and having and welcoming 2 more brothers is amazing. And I really want to thank you for doing that. Okay? And I know that that's hard. There's so many people to thank in this case. I'm not going to go into everything. I'm not even going to swear anybody in, because I know this case like the back of my hand. I want to just say that, Frankie, you deserve to be loved. And I am so thankful that you found love in this household, because you deserve to be loved. I know how much you cared about your brother, and I am so thankful that you're together, and I can see that, Champ, that you're also very loved, and that you love your family. And I love this family myself. I gotta tell you, I love this kid. And I am just so grateful and thankful to everybody through the years who's done so many things. And this is probably the happiest day that I've had as a family court judge. I mean, adoptions are happy, they're wonderful. This is so special because Frankie's adopted as an adult and Champ is adopted as a child, and they are becoming family again today. So thank you so much, and it is with great pleasure that I am handing you 2 adoption certificates. So, all right, so Frankie, who's now officially Frankie, he wasn't Frankie. Right, so I'm glad Judge McGiffin provided the comic relief. That's it, you're good to go.
Thank you, Judge Kerr. Thank you, Judge McGiffin. Thank you to all the families today. Congratulations to the Payson family, the Price family, to the Graff family. Thank you for sharing your adoptions with us. We are going to move forward. We have a video. We're going to talk about what's available to you after you finalize your adoption. So we're going to move into a video with another family now. Thanks.
When I think about how post-adoption supports have most benefited families, I think that adoptive families don't feel so alone and isolated in the inevitable challenges that come with becoming an adoptive family and navigating, parenting a child with developmental trauma.
I think it's a legitimate fear for people because we often wondered, well, what happens, and that has not been our experience. They find a way to check in and make sure, offer assistance to you.
There's a sense of relief and knowing that they're not alone and that there are specialized supports out there to help them get through it.
But we still go, we take the kids to counseling, and it's been a great experience. So, and I know, we could call anytime and get any help that we needed.
It's been a challenge for us for the last 2 or 3 years. Well, actually, after something happened in here on his behalf, I spoke to Mike, and he told me, John, we can help you. We can find help. We have help. So the only thing that I need you is just to hold for me. I give you a call tomorrow. And I will, yes, Mike, thank you. And that's when we start to set up the appointments and go. But it's been helpful. Now for the last couple, actually 4 days already, 3 days, since Monday, he's been the last therapist visit that we did with Kim. Wow, it's just amazing.
It just really does help to have somebody either therapeutically or in a supportive role that really understands the concerns of adoptive families that might be different from other kinds of family challenges.
I believe that the same way that they help us, they can help anybody. They can help everybody because it's as a process, and many times we don't know where to go. and I'm glad that actually I made that call.
You're not alone. We're here. We want to support you. We want to help you. We want you to be successful. You can't know all the answers. Parenting is hard enough as it is. So please connect with us so that we can, help you talk it through, think it through, understand all the options involved, and better understand how you can respond to your children that helps in the process of becoming successful and overcoming challenges.
Reiterated, we've kind of talked about it a bunch this morning, but I guess it's afternoon now, this morning. But this doesn't end today, right? When your adoption finalizes, we're still here. We are still here. There is so much support available for your family. Please get involved early and get involved often. It is such a wonderful community of professionals and families. And who doesn't want to talk to families that are in it with you, that we're in it together? So what's available to you is you've got individualized family support, right? Because all of your families are different. You can make a phone call just for a connection to an agency. Are you looking for a therapist? Are you having help with, do you need help with navigating the educational system, navigating any system, the child mental health system? We can help you with that. There are trainings and workshops, there are support groups, there's crisis intervention. So please get involved, get to know us. Like I said before, there's a lot of information on the side table. We're all here. So stay involved, don't go anywhere, we're still here. And I'm gonna invite my boss, Trenny Parker, the director of the Division of Family Services, back up to bring us home. Once again, I want to thank all of you for being here. I also just want to do a really quick thank you to, where is Ashley Dawson? To Ashley, we could not have done this without you. Ashley works in Secretary Manning's office, and we could not have pulled this all together, so thank you, Ashley.
I am glad we had a little video. I didn't think I would be able to come up here and actually speak because of the crying that I was doing in the back of the room. It's not often that family court judges make me cry for happy reasons, but boy, Judge Kerr did it today. Woo, let me tell you. So again, I want to thank all of you for being here today. I want to thank the Caton, Price, and Graff families for letting us share in this moment with you. You opened your hearts to all of us as you were opening your families and allowing it to grow. So I'm really honored to be able to have been a part of that. Families are made a number of ways, and it's not always defined by biology and DNA. Love is really what defines a family. Judge McGiffin talked about that some, and it really is, where we should be in our world. It's about love. We all have differences. We bring different things to the table, and I'm just glad to have all of you here to be a part of this. This was a really special day, and I would like to thank the co-chairs who brought this together, Meredith Hypes and Courtney Penhollow. They're in the back of the room. Give a little wave, guys. I know they work closely with the Interagency Council on Adoption to bring this together. That is a group that comes together for support and advocacy. So for those of you who are members of that group, again, I appreciate you all being a part of that, spending time on Saturday to bring this together. I'd like to give special thanks to Judge McGiffin and Judge Kerr, for being here today in person and for helping us celebrate this moment. I understand from their presentations that Judge Hitch and Judge Arrington were also involved, but unfortunately not able to be here today, but don't want to diminish the part that they played in helping us get to this day, making sure that we have children who are going home tonight knowing that they are being loved and they're a part of a new family. I would like to also thank our adoption program manager, Mara Dillon, for working on this, and again, echoing her comments about Ashley Dawson, who has been a godsend to our department, bringing us together and giving us fancy brochures and things of that nature, which are really nice. As Mara mentioned, please don't forget that post-adoption supports are available. Before you need them, reach out. Let them be a part of your village. Create that village around you. There's some information on the table here. Mara's contact information is on the screen, as well as an address that you can reach out to. We want to be here all of the time. You know, a lot of times the work that we do is something that some folks don't want in their lives. But our goal is to really be a part of making your family safe, stable, and full of love. So thank you all very much for spending part of your day with us this Saturday. I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, which is right around the corner, and nothing but the best for a safe and happy holiday season for all of you and your family. So thank you for being with us today.